Yeah, Seattle, what's up? Smoked a lot of your weed, so it's gonna be slow as shit, just so you know. Happy to be here. Keep it going for Gretchen. It's like a weird, privileged, yet stressing life, man. I don't know. Seems rough, but not at the same time, right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Get it? Well, I'm happy to be here in Seattle. It's dope. Like your city so far. A little bit about myself. I turned 40 years old this year. I know. It's hard to tell. I look so good. It's cardio, lotion, and sex, people. That's all you need. Keep it going. Yeah, a lot of my friends talk shit to me now that I'm 40, like I care. I don't. I'm actually excited to be 40. Because now that I'm 40, I don't have to dress like a cool black guy in the streets anymore. It's a lot of load off my chest, you know what I mean? It's big. Shit's expensive. I don't know if you know that, man. These shoes are like $300, bro. Never bent my feet in them once, because you crease them. You gotta throw them away or you can't go back to your house. Your neighbors will make fun of you if you're black. It's real shit. Yeah. Plus, I think young people have done with fashion anyway, like the whole time. Like I did when I was growing up. I grew up in the 90s. Y'all remember that shit? When everything was super baggy and matched? No? Everybody's super young in here? Fair enough. This one guy, well, I'll talk to him. He's like, I remember when Negroes used to do that. Yeah. Very, very weird time. Anyway, it was weird. It was. Like, I used to wear 5X tall t-shirts. There were t-shirts that like hung down to here, sleeves were down to here. I wore size 48-inch pants. Yeah, I weighed 156 pounds. Shit made no sense, bro. I used to wear full-length NBA basketball shorts underneath my shit just in case a game broke out. And it never did, though, because I'm always wearing, like, untied Timberlands, right? Didn't make any sense. Yeah. Used to walk down. You ever see a black guy walking across the street real slow? Like, you know, when the light's green, you're trying to go. You could act like you haven't, but you have. You know you've been pissed about it. You know you've been pissed about it, too. Like, he's just sauntering, like... You're like, go, man. I got work. And he's just... Hey, man, I don't have insurance on these shoes, bro. These are $450. I haven't been my shit in 26 years, bro. Guess what? You could be late for work. Kiss my ass, man. Yeah. My kids dress stupid too, man, but they dress like opposite for some reason. They dress like real tight. Everything's super tight. They look like I haven't been able to afford to buy them new clothes since like 5th grade. It's ridiculous. And they walk dumb too. Slow, but it's weird. It's like, hey, Dad, can I get a ride? Like, it's hard to walk like this to the mall. It's like, nah, man, you gotta put on some real pants or you can't get in my car. You look stupid. Yeah. But now that I'm older, I think that like black fashion has been a conspiracy this whole time, yo. I don't know who's running it, but like, it's either too baggy or too tight. Either way, if shit goes down, like, you can't get away from anything that fast, you know what I mean? Like, you see Usain Bolt in those shorts, right? He's doing like the fastest times in the world. I guarantee you put him in shit I used to wear, he'd have like a 5-minute waddle, like, oh fuck. He's getting arrested for sure, dog, that's all I'm saying. That's why you see old black dudes today just wearing like sweats and New Balances wherever shit they go, because something goes down, they're getting the fuck out of there, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, one thing I don't like about being 40 though, honestly, is now I have to tell people what kind of diabetes I have. Yeah, people don't understand there's like a difference. I have type 1. You see how no one gave a shit? Yeah. That's my life, man. It's worse than AIDS, but no one cares. Matter of fact, if someone popped up and said, hey, Greg, I'm Magic, I'll give you a choice, though. You could have type 1 diabetes or HIV. You got to pick one. I'm taking HIV, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah. Definitely, man. You know how they treat that shit today? It's 2 pills once a day or 1 shot every other month, and you're undetectable. That means you can't even pass that on through sex. The CDC said that. Dr. Fauci said you could bust raw nuts. 2 pills a day. You know how much math I gotta do to eat cheesecake, son? And it's like a guess, too. Like, I'm just like, well, if I get this wrong, I'm gonna be peeing all night. My blood sugar's high. Also, if I get it wrong, I might not wake up tomorrow. Ooh, how fun. No, just give me AIDS, bro. I think no one gives a shit about diabetes because of the old spokesperson we used to have. We didn't have a good one. You know, like Parkinson had Michael J. Fox, man. He was in Back to the Future. He made Air Force Ones cool, man. Nelly made a song about that shit. Still, you guys are too young, I get it. That was a cool mascot, man. Our mascot was like an old dude that only came on during The Price is Right. like commercials, he would show up in a cowboy hat, all serious for some reason, like, my name's Wilford Brimley, and I have diabetes. And you're like, diabetes? I don't think that's how you say that, man. You're like, you're not making us look good, dude. You're a piece of shit. You know what? Yeah, he died 3 years ago, but he should have died a decade ago. Fuck him. I'm glad he's dead. Plus, I think he was a type 2 diabetic. And I don't know if you guys know this, but type 2, 1 and 2 diabetics, we don't get down like that. We're like the Crips and the Bloods, you know what I mean? Or the blood sugars and the cripples because they don't have feet or whatever, you know? All right. And listen, I'm not going to talk a bunch of shit about type 2 diabetics. We just, we're different shit, man. Like God hated me as a child, just took away my organs, and I have to have this hormone to live, and if I don't have it, I die, right? And if I have too much, I die. It's great. And then type 2 diabetics, they just didn't want to stop, drinking Slurpees and not moving and shit. And so their insulin, it's there, but it doesn't work quite. It's just not that, they got to take more. But they don't usually, so, whatever. I'll just say that, you ever watch Lost? You guys ever see that show? All right. Like, this is how, my character and a type 2 diabetic character would go on Lost, all right? Like the plane wrecks, right? We're violently thrown around. I'm on the beach, washed up. My insulin pump's gone, I'm freaking out. Oh, fuck. Anyway, have you seen this thing? It's probably, yeah, it's probably in the water. I needed that. Anybody got any insulin? No? Oh, cool. All right, well, then I just die first episode. First episode, I'm gone. Like, unless there's a flashback or some shit, you're not seeing me again. The type 2 diabetic, same thing. He's like, oh, fuck, I don't have any insulin, but I'm not really eating anything, so I'll probably be okay. Shit, I should probably help, carry these logs over here and, start fires and build shelters. Now I'm eating coconuts and, just wild shit I'm finding. You know what? I'm losing weight. Fuck, season 2, I'm not even type 2 diabetic anymore. So you know what? Go fuck yourself. We're not the same. All right, that shit's dark. I'll move on. Anybody divorced in here? A couple old people up front. Everybody else is like, nah, we haven't made that mistake yet. What's that? You're not divorced anymore? I don't know what's going on here. I'm sorry. So high. I'm just gonna move on. I'm sorry, man. Jeez. All right. Yeah, well, I'm divorced. And don't worry, lady. This is gonna be one of those sets where I talk shit about my ex-wife. About how much I hate her. About how much of an awful person she was. I'm not gonna do that. I don't hate her. I just don't think we went together. We're like a weird food combination, right? Imagine you're watching Chopped, and they get to the dessert round. You're like, okay, chefs, you gotta do something with these 2 ingredients. It's a special challenge. You gotta make it work with this vanilla ice cream and octopus. Go. Oh, what are they gonna do? Some kind of squid ink pasta? I don't, it's not gonna work, And honestly, I feel like I was the ice cream in this situation, right? I'm pretty cool, I'm pretty versatile, I get along great with most people. Most people like me. Dope to have around in the summertime. And she was like, she's like an octopus, She's like a horrible tentacle monster. Almost as smart as a person, right? Kind of dangerous if she has a knife. You're just like, yo, calm down, man. What's fuck? Nah, I'm just fucking around, y'all. I do hate her. She ruined my entire life. Seriously, I want her to die every day, but if she does, I'll have my kids 100%, and it's nah, fuck all that. Kids are rough, man. It's every other day, Dad, we're hungry. Please, can we have some food? And you're like, come on, man. You much I gotta pay your mom a child support, bro? I can't afford to feed you twice a day. You gotta suck it up. We eat OMAD here, 1 meal a day. Keep us lean. Yeah. I am kind of mean to my kids, especially when they were younger. I used to lie to them all the time because it was fun. They couldn't fact check me on Google yet. Remember when my youngest son lost his first tooth? He was so stoked. It was a big moment in his life. He ran up to me. He's like, hey, Dad, look, it finally came out. Yeah, I was biting this apple. It just fell out. Man. Oh, I was so excited. I'm going to go to bed right now. I'll put it under the pillow. And he did. He went right to sleep. It was 5 o'clock. He didn't have to go to bed yet. It was so cute. And he woke up the next day, came out, surprise. He didn't get shit, right? It's just He just came out all sad, like, yo, Dad, I put my tooth under the pillow and it's still here. I got nothing. What's going on? And I was like, hey, man, you know, I knew this day was gonna come, so I'm just gonna tell you the truth right now, all right? What do the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus have in common? That's right. They both only have your mom's address. That's how the divorce shook out, man. I don't know what to tell you, dog. Oh, stop crying. You don't know who the Tooth Fairy is, do you? You don't. Well, let me show you. So, to make him feel better, you know, I took him to the living room and I popped in this movie called The Grudge. You guys ever see that? That scary Japanese ghost that murders you when you see her and shit. Yeah, so I'm watching this with my 5-year-old, like, hey, man, that's her, bro. You lucked out, because if you wake up and she sees you, she kidnaps you. You gotta meow at people like that cat kid. Is that what you want to do? Is that worth $1? You guys pulled back a little bit. You're a little judgy, but that's fine. It works. I knew it worked because I didn't hear shit after that. I knew he was losing teeth. I could see it when he smiled at me. There were like bigger gaps, but I think he was just having panic attacks in the yard. Like, oh fuck. Oh, you're right, Dad. Death isn't worth $1. Yeah. Kids are older now, though. You know, they're like, they're teenagers, and they're kind of going through puberty at the same time during the lockdown. So I was just stuck with these new dudes, you know? Just, you know, they smelled like musty vinegar chips and Axe body spray out of nowhere. Just like, what the fuck? They always had attitudes, you know? Like act real tough, but their voices are changing, so it's hard to take them serious. They talk shit. They're like, hey, didn't I tell you to turn off that Xbox, man? He's like, whatever, Dad. I'm just like, yeah, okay, Squeaks. Get some bass in your voice when you talk shit. Go turn that off, clean your room. Yeah. Like they're gross now. Like every time I'd like go to leave somewhere, like go on a jog or some shit, there's like tissues everywhere in the morning. I was just like, ugh, man. One day I found one by the toaster. I had to call him out on it. Like, yo, what the fuck? What's going on with all these tissues, bro? What's up? My oldest son, he just came forward, you know, with some dumbest shit I've ever heard. He's like, yeah, Dad, those are mine. I'm sorry. I just have allergies really bad. I'm like, oh yeah, word? Only at night for the last year while everyone's asleep? Weird. We'll get that checked out. But tell you what, man, every time you feel like you gotta sneeze, use a sock, okay? It's cheaper. Like, this is Kleenex with lotion, bro. This is expensive. I'm a comic. I don't have that kind of money. One day my kids, you know, they came at me out of nowhere because they like argue a lot. And you know, they came up to me like, hey Dad, we've been arguing all day right now. We want to know right now, who's your favorite kid? Who is it? Is it me, Malachi, your oldest son, the one that looks just like you but still has all his hair? Or is it Romeo, your youngest son, who's still afraid of the Tooth Fairy? Tell us, man. And like, I just got done smoking a bowl, so I wasn't really ready for that shit. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna tell you guys the truth, you know. I love you both the same. You both came from my balls. You got that going for you. But I do have a favorite kid. And my favorite kid, hands down, has to be my ex-stepson, Michael, actually. Yeah, he's way cooler than both you guys. He's like a collegiate wrestler. He's 22. He's got my back in a fight if shit goes down. You guys can't take a punch. You're all malnourished and stuff. You know, he moved in with me because when he was 13, because he hated his mom too. We got so much in common. You guys still love your mom, yo? Gross. I'm glad I'm there for my sons though, because I didn't know my dad growing up. You know, didn't know anything about him. Matter of fact, my mom just told me who my dad was 3 years ago. Yeah, she's like, Greg, I think you're old enough to hear about your father. And I was like, oh, word, now that I'm like divorced with 2 kids, 37 and a mortgage, I can handle that emotionally? All right, cool. Well, come on in, kids. Grandma has a story. Let's hear it. He's like, all right, it's a little embarrassing, but didn't really know you were black until you were 3 years old, and that's when I knew your dad was. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, you could have been Mexican or a Thai guy. Yeah, that's what she said. So that's why I named you Greg. I wanted it to be kind of neutral. I was like, that was fucked up, man. Like, I wanted to call my mom a hoe a little bit, but I was like, you know what? She lives in a small town. She worked in a bigger city. You know, she just had more options. Like, no one goes to Baskin Robbins and gets vanilla. Doesn't happen, man. She tried different flavors. Here I am. So that's cool. I got over that. But then she's like, okay. So I knew it was him. And I met him. It was like New Year's Eve. It was at a party. I was a little high. And I hooked up with this stripper that I met at Red Lobster. That's your origin story. I was like, thanks, Mom. Cool. Kids, go back to your room, huh? I'm gonna go for a drive and try to like work this shit out. I don't know. Should have kept that shit to yourself or make up a lie. Couldn't fact it. But I'm there for them, you know. Get to give them advice that I ever got, especially about like women and dating. First thing I told them now that they're just teenagers, like whatever you do, man, just try to stay off a woman's creep list. Just don't be creepy, because once you're on a woman's creep list, you're on that shit for life, man. Trust me. Let me tell you about Sarah Demboski, 4th grade. Love this girl. I used to follow her everywhere around, you know what I mean? If she was in the library, I was checking out a book. If she was like going down the slide, I was like swinging next to her, telling her good job, you know? Just like, yeah, man. If she was in the bathroom, I'd be like outside tying my shoe waiting for her. Like, oh, was there enough toilet paper? Oh, you know, just like a psycho, you know? And one day she just called me out. She's like, Greg, look, I know what you calling my house and hanging up. I need you to stop following me around, stop asking me out. I do not like you, you're ruining my life. And I was like, okay, fair enough, Sarah. But you're never gonna see your cat Gatsby again. How you feel about that shit, Sarah? Yeah, long story short, the principal got involved, so did the police. And she still won't take my Facebook friend request, yo. It's been 28 years. It's like, come on, Sarah, how you been, yo? Let it go. There's no way Gatsby's still around. Yeah, I get to tell him not to be too cocky though, because like when I was a teenager, I used to like fight, box, wrestle, all that shit. So I always felt good. Had a good body back in the day. Felt confident. And you know, I used that too. I catcalled a woman, right? I was feeling too good about myself. Not proud of it. Capitol Hill, I'm not. But I'll tell you what happened, right? Saw this girl getting off the bus, and I looked at her and I was like, damn, baby, you got a fat ass. You should take a ride back to my place. Sit on my lap, we can talk about whatever pops up. Then she said something that changed my life. Never forget it. You know, she looked me dead in my face and she goes, yeah, let's go, where's your car at? And I was like, oh shit, I rode my bike here. I actually still live with my mom. I didn't think any of this out, you know? You know what? You keep this bike. I'm gonna get on the bus and think about this, you know, so never again. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Man. She was talking about Spokane earlier. I actually lived there for like a few years. I was a little offended about what she was saying about it. I like Spokane. I don't give a shit what she says. First off, it's like it's got that big city sketchy with the small town feel at the same time, all right? And I know a lot of people don't get that. I'll give you a story that'll like wrap this up. Like one night, my neighbor got arrested by the SWAT team. They kicked in his door and got him because he stabbed a dude at McDonald's. Yeah, they blocked off the road. It took 12 hours. I was late for work. It was a whole thing. And when I got to work, I thought my boss was gonna be mad that I was late, but she wasn't. You know, she just walked up to me kind of sad. She's like, Greg, you really gotta think about your life and the people in it. Like, hey, what's going on? She's like, well, my good friend and neighbor got stabbed at McDonald's last night. And I was like, what? No shit. I think my neighbor stabbed your neighbor, yo. Like, how horrible and wholesome was that at the same time, though? That's Spokane in a nutshell, B. Had to move though, because I'm trying to be a famous black guy. That's kind of hard to do in Spokane. Mostly because like our most famous black person is a white chick named Rachel, and that's like, how do you break that ceiling? No, you don't. So now I live more on the west side, like it over here. You know, I grew up like in Michigan, Spokane, like Seattle's a whole different vibe. It's way more progressive out here. It's pretty interesting. But the first time I was having a conversation with some people, in the middle of the conversation, this guy just looked at me. He was a white dude. And he goes, hey, Greg, as a person of color, how do you feel about what's going on right here? And I was like, oh. Did you just call me a person, like a colored person, bro? Like what year is this, dog? What's going on right now? He's like, no, man, I said person of color. I'm sorry. That's the correct way to say that. That's how we do it out here. I was like, oh, cool, man. Good thing you said something, because I almost punched you in the neck, because I thought just dumb and like switch the words around. But if it's the whole thing, all right. It has the same number of letters if you count it, but all right, it's different though. Yeah. Didn't know that you got an emotional support white woman when you moved out here though. That was nice. Yeah. As soon as I moved out here, I met some people, and then like every time there's a black story in the news, it could be anything, like any article, she would hit me up with it. And she's like, Greg, I've been thinking about you. Are you doing okay? Is there anything you need to talk about? And I'm like, no, yo, actually, I've been black since the 80s, dog. I got this. Since Reaganomics, yo, I'm cool. Honestly, this is also a weird way to ask for penis, just ask, just be an adult. I'll probably say no. I do have a girlfriend. I met her in Spokane. Oh, how much time do I got? Oh, almost done. All right, I met her in Spokane, so she's white, obviously. And, I was the only black dude she's ever dated. So, of course, there were questions, you know what I mean? She's like, second date, she's like, hey, Greg, is it true they say about black guys? I was like, what's that? She's like, well, you don't have to answer if you want, but, I was talking to my mom and my sister and, like, my cousin and, like, this bakery lady. And this lady at the post office, she was really nice. And then I helped this old lady at the grocery store, and we were all just wondering, is it true what they say about black guys? Do you all have big dicks? So now I gotta be the one to break their hearts and shit? It's like, first off, no, all right? That's not true. That's a vicious stereotype. Not all black guys have big dicks, okay? It's actually just me and a couple other guys, so you calm down. Enjoy the stay at Applebee's. It's 2 for $20 right now. You're excited about the wrong shit. I still come fast. Yeah, we live together, but before we signed that lease to make it legal, I had to ask that question that all guys kind of want to know before we take it legal, next level. It's like, hey, babe, before I'm stuck with you for 12 months, I need to know right now, how many men have you had sex with? I know, it's a terrible question, because she told me, She's like, oh, all right, it's a little embarrassing, but I've been with 4 guys. And I was like, disgusted. I was like, 4 guys, are you serious? Yo, I've been with more dudes than that. You need to step up your freak game. All right. Just gonna do this real quick. I'll tell you one more joke and I'll get out of here. But I do have a shirt after this. If you don't want to buy it, cool, just say hi. But if not, it's an octopus. It's got some ice cream and some knives. Also, has 7 tentacles in honor of diabetes. So, I'll be back there. $25, hit me up. Just say hey. All right. So I told my girlfriend I loved her the other day for the first time. All right. And I'm glad you didn't clap. We've been together for like 7 years. No. She deserves it, And I knew it. Like, she's the best girlfriend I ever had, Like, we communicate really well. If she cooks, I'll clean. Take each other out on dates. Got like a real 50-50 thing, right? I like it. Remember one night we heard a noise downstairs. It was 2:30 in the morning. It was a big crash. And I was like, we both got up. And we're like, oh shit, what was that? And before I could do anything, she was already going downstairs with a baseball bat. I was like, yo, what a fucking soldier. I do hope there's no one down there though, because they're gonna beat her ass. She is not strong. Anyway guys, that's been my time. Thanks for coming out. I've been Greg Beachroom.